Fantastic. Okay, so this is the Enriching Gifts Education call. It is Wednesday night. Each and every Wednesday night we do these calls. This is October 21st. We've got Ron Schneider, our host for the call, our leader. He's set on a path throughout his life to just really educate and pursue his calling, which is studying the immune system and the role that enzymes play on that. And it's a much deeper story than that, but that's kind of a way we get it started. But Ron, I just want to say thank you. Welcome to the call. It's great to hear you and great to have you. And we're just excited for whatever we have in store. I do know that we have some, at least one individual I know reached out and is on the call and has a question, but we'll go and we'll be organic like always. So welcome to the call, Ron.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that. And just so everybody's really clear, I got started in this because of my own family genetics. I have heart disease on both sides of my family, my mom, my dad, multiple generations up. My relatives don't live to be much in their 40s or 50s. Some of the longest living relatives are in their early 60s. So I'm 64 this year, 65 going to be this year. And, you know, according to my genetics, I'm at the end of my lifespan. And I'm out to prove you do not have to be a victim of bad genetics. So that's the road that I've been on for the last 45 years out of the 60 years I've been alive, almost 64 years. It's never made sense to me, and I know that the genetics can never change, but they definitely do not have to be damaged, and you can actually improve your genetics, although you can't change them. So all I'm out to do is get an extra 10, 15 years out of my lifespan beyond what my parents, aunts, and uncles were able to do with their life, and that's what my life has been all about. And one of the big discoveries that I actually discovered along the way is your immune system. Without the immune system, your body has no quality of life, has no capability of functioning other than a very, very short period of time frame. Because it's the immune system that protects you, prevents disease and illness, prevents the DNA damage and deterioration because of your environment, because of viruses, bacteria, just again, because of our environment. And so that's what I learned at a very young age, probably in my 19, 20 years old. And then I became an athlete. And I knew that in order to recover properly, you had to have a strong immune system. And inflammation caused by your workout, extra activity, extra stress, emotional, physical, whatever, mental, that's going to be one of the biggest immune system suppressors. So that's what my life has been all about, is about the immune system, because you can't expect anything else to work until you have adequate protection so that things can go on and work according to the way they're genetically designed. And so I became an immunoenzymologist. My main focus is the immune system, all the different nutrients, all the different enzymes that run and regulate all the different cells that make up the human immune system network. So just wanted to be very clear with everybody on the call in case we had anybody new. And as everybody knows, we don't really have topics from week to week. I really got off my chest this whole carnivore diet last week, so I'm not going to go there again this week unless anybody has any questions regarding that. But Dover, you mentioned somebody had a question on the call tonight. So I'll just go straight into question and answer if anybody has any health issues that they want to have discussed. Any questions about any kind of drugs or how that all works, and I'm happy to answer any of that kind of stuff for tonight's call.
Sure. Okay, excellent. So if anyone has a question, please mute yourself, ask away. I know Ricardo's online. Ricardo, you had a question. If you would like to come on out and unmute yourself, ask Ron the question, and then we'll go from there.
Does everybody know how to unmute their phone? Yep, there you go. Okay. Hello.
Ron Dover, hello, Mr. Ricardo, calling from Southern California. I'm in the middle of trailers with refrigerators. Can you guys hear me, or do I need to walk away a little bit further?
You. Yeah, no, you got a little bit of echo, but I can hear you okay.
All right, so just a quick question, Ron. My mom, who's 73 years old, she's dealing with a couple of health issues. I'm trying to get familiar with the medications she's taking that her doctor's prescribing. One of them is to prevent stroke. She's taking another one for, oh my God, I forgot. It'll come to me in a second. And
well, stroke is probably a blood
right,
thinner. Yeah, she's on some kind of a blood thinner. She's on stroke medication.
And what she's she's dealing with her lower left leg or foot. It's arthritis, and on her right foot, ankle and lower leg, she's dealing with. The doctor described it as her veins are thinning, and it's giving her skin that discoloration, kind of like that bruise look to it.
Almost like varicose veins, almost. Yeah, it's like varicose veins.
Right,
only difference is severe oxidation and thinning. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and obviously he said because she's dealing with some heart issues, obviously she's going to see a specialist. She's scheduled to see a specialist here in 2-3 weeks. Man, I'll let you just go from there. Obviously, I apologize. I wanted to prepare myself, but I couldn't get off work in time. So with that being said, like I said, she's dealing with some arthritis on her left foot. On her right foot, she's dealing with poor circulation, and obviously her heart. She's scheduled to see a specialist, and the doctor basically, according to what he's saying, what he explained to my sister is just that it comes with age. It's natural.
And Ron,
I completely do not agree with.
Yeah, go ahead, Dover.
Ron, there's another part to that, and Ricardo had asked a question, and he was wanting to know, which I'm sure you'll get into, but what the Enriching Gift product line is heart algae the best remedy for the best approach to this? So I had him come on and ask that question directly
to you.
That's one of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's start taking them one by one. Let's deal with the heart issues and the prevention of the stroke and all that. So they've got her on Plavix, Coumadin, some kind of a modern age blood thinner. Thinner blood is less likely to clot, less likely to cause another stroke. So that's standard protocol for all medical doctors, practically in the hematology department. Enzymes, the Enriching Gifts plant enzymes, they have natural blood thinning ability. That's the side effect of proteolytic enzymes, is they actually break down the proteins and the things that would clot in the blood that would cause the coagulation process or the clotting. So enzymes are natural for thinning the blood. In fact, I have to reduce the amount of enzymes I take every day because I can thin my blood so thin, and I'm not on any aspirin or any drugs or anything. There's nothing from medicine that I've even seen in over 35 years, other than my bottom of my feet got burned severely, but I'm not on any drugs for that. They want to do the same thing. They wanted to give me blood thinners so that they would actually prevent DVT clots and things like that. But I just take my enzymes, and my plant enzymes under the Enriching Gifts label can thin the blood so thin that you will actually bleed from your gums, even though you have healthy teeth. That's how thin you can thin your blood just with our digestive enzymes. Now, in order to get to that, keep in mind, I've been doing this for 31 years. This isn't something that's going to happen in 6 months. But you can actually get your blood much, much thinner, or as thin as any doctor would have you do with the drugs. And the benefit is, with the drugs, you have so many negative side effects because they inhibit your body's ability to clot and coagulate. With the digestive enzymes, they don't inhibit anything. They just break the proteins down that prevent the clotting process. And so just like with anything else, if you want to get really thin blood, you got to be very careful not to cut yourself because it could actually cause a much higher blood loss when your blood is thin. But that goes with drugs along, or any kind of blood thinning, whether it's with enzymes or whether it's with Plavix, Coumadin, or any other prescribed blood thinner. So that's the way to prevent the stroke. I agree, thin the blood, but get rid of the proteins that actually have clotting factors to them. And enzymes will do that better than any drug that I'm aware of. It just takes longer to get there. Drugs are pretty quick because they inhibit enzymes. The digestive enzymes don't inhibit anything. They break it down. And so it takes a longer time to clean up and clear the blood. So definitely the digestive enzymes, get started on that. And then as far as the veins and stuff, that's threefold. That's heart algae, that's metabolic complete. And then to actually heal the vessel itself, you want the aloe max. So those three, and they want to make sure you take a minimum of 3 of each one of those per day in order to get a decent antioxidant and healing benefit. If you can afford 4, then take 4 a day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, and each one of those. And then there was one other thing you asked me about, the stroke, the veins, and what was the other one? Dover, do you remember what the third one was?
Sorry, Ron. It starts with an L. I'm trying to remember the L. It starts with an L. Condition she's dealing with.
Lupus?
It wouldn't be lupus.
Oh, no,
It wouldn't be lupus. No.
No. Oh God. It'll come to me in a second. I'll get
Oh,
back to you on that.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the arthritis. You're talking about arthritis.
Oh.
Didn't she have some arthritis in her leg?
Yeah, you're right.
Correct. So let's deal with the arthritis. Well, when you deal with the enzymes, you're actually limiting the amount of scar tissue the body has the ability to build and accumulate. So that's going to restore blood flow, keep really good blood going. And then some of the things that arthritis rob you of is a hardening. It's an oxidation. And like I said, you've got 3 antioxidants in there. You've got the heart algae. You've got the metabolic complete, which are really, really high. And even polysaccharides to some degree have a little bit of antioxidant benefits. So again, you're not only dealing with the vascular and the vein condition, you're actually dealing with the arthritic condition too when you're using the metabolic complete, the aloe, and the heart algae. So those would be the 4, the plant enzymes, the heart algae, the metabolic complete, and the aloe max. And that's where I would start her from. I wouldn't worry about the immune system just right now. Get the blood cleaned out to where the immune system can function later on. But we need to get those circulatory vessels healthy. We want to get rid of the inflammation and accumulation of scar tissue that contributes to arthritic conditions. So we can just go ahead and kind of get started with those 4 is where I would start you at. And the longer you stay on the enzymes, and again, you have to start these enzymes very slowly. There's a protocol how to use the Enriching Gifts products on our website, enriching.gifts.com. And I would really strongly suggest that your mom start with that protocol of the enzymes. You start with 1 per day with the largest meal of the day and do that for a week and then 2 weeks and 3 weeks. And it gives you, I think it's up to a 6-week protocol. Start safe, be smart. Don't try to rush it because these are aggressive enzymes and they'll detoxify you like crazy. And the last thing you need is a healing crisis and a whole bloodstream polluted with toxins from the internal body. So start slow and be safe. That's all I can say about that. And I think that should really help you notice some big things in 3-4 months. And eventually what's going to happen is the longer she stays on these enzymes, eventually the blood's going to start thinning out to where it's getting too thin, and your doctor will adjust her blood thinning medication. He will never take her off of it. I'll tell you that right now. He'll probably start giving you vitamin E and other things to strengthen up the blood and stuff. But when your doctor when you get down to like 2, 3, 5 milligrams of whatever blood thinner you're on, then you just take yourself off of it. Because like I said, your doctor will never do it. And by then you're down to the equivalent of about a baby aspirin. If you're taking 3 to 5 milligrams of any blood thinner, even Coumadin, which is very, very aggressive, 5 milligrams isn't really that much more than 1 to 2 baby aspirins, 81 milligram aspirins. So, you got any questions besides that? Did that help you out?
Yes, understood. I appreciate that, Ron. Thank you very much.
Okay. You take care, buddy. Stay safe out there in California. I know times are really tough, especially in that state. Anybody else have any comments, questions for the call tonight? Anybody? Sounds like this will be a fairly short call tonight.
Ron, I have a question. Can you talk a little bit about on the coronavirus synthetic I think it's monoclonal antibodies versus?
Yeah. That's the synthetic antibodies.
Mm-hmm.
Regeneron. Yeah. Okay. And what was your question?
Really, I'm just curious about your thoughts on the lab created antibodies.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. The antibodies come from an original person that has survived and overcome the coronavirus. So all they're doing is they're taking these human antibodies and they're actually mass cloning them in a laboratory through a genetic engineering process. They're real antibodies. They're cultured because they're reproduced without the immune system doing it. So that they are engineered, but they are just as safe as the original antibodies. And I'll tell you, you go back in history, I don't care whether it's Ebola, you go back to the Spanish flu in the early 1900s. I mean, we've been doing synthetic antibodies and actually direct person-to-person antibody transfers for literally decades now. Decades. Whether it be HIV, AIDS, the biggest one that I always remember is Nurse Fan, that Vietnamese nurse who was all over national television, and the white male doctor that came back from Sierra Leone. He actually survived. He had it. He was never hospitalized. He was almost asymptomatic for his whole time, and everybody was just deathly scared. And they even quarantined the one nurse up in New York. She had some symptoms, but she never really got sick to where she was hospitalized. And the reason that gentleman survived the Ebola without any symptoms or hospitalization is because of his own immune system. His immune system made antibodies that literally overcame the Ebola virus. And that's the way anybody overcomes any disease and illness. You don't die because of a disease or illness. You die because of a compromised, weakened immune system. That's why everybody dies. Sooner or later, your cellular body no longer functions as efficiently as it used to, and that even includes all the cells that make up the human immune system. And so you die from a compromised immune system, not because of a disease or illness. I mean, it's the disease that actually compromised your body's health, but your immune system wasn't able to overcome that deterioration, and that's why you died from that disease, but it really wasn't a disease. You died because of a compromised immune system. Every person on the planet dies because of that. Because otherwise, what's the difference between right now with COVID-19? What's the difference between the people that get the virus? You can see the antibodies, so you know you have the viral infection, and yet there's no symptoms whatsoever.
Right.
It's the immune system. And I won't be rude to anybody, but I used to say it's the immune system, stupid. You know, that's like they used to always tell us the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. Well, it's the immune system. People need to get this. It's always going to come down to your immune system, no matter what argument anybody wants. I'll even stand up to Dr. Fauci on national television. God almighty, I only wish I had the opportunity to debate that moron. But anyway, so it's going to come down to the immune system. And that's why I've tried so hard through these calls, through the decades that I've been doing them, to really get people to understand how to strengthen, focus, and keep the immune system as strong as it can possibly function. You can do this. Anybody can do this. I do this all the time. And like I said, the burns on the bottom of my feet, I'll tell you, there isn't one doctor I ever talked to trying to figure out if there's any way I can help improve my walking capability or not. They are just all dumbfounded, amazed. And they look at the pictures, and you didn't have to have skin grafting? How in the heck could you heal a hole like that with no skin grafting and no infection? That just boggles their mind. It's the immune system. Mm-hmm. Your immune system will keep your internal body cleaned up as long as the bloodstream's cleaned up to where it's not inhibiting from functioning. But more and more people, by the time you're 40 years old, your immune system becomes compromised, just even with a little bit of emotional or physical stress, because the rest of the blood is so polluted, it doesn't take much to compromise your immune system in today's world and environment. But getting back to the antibodies, there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of with those antibodies that are lab created. They're lab created through an engineering process, but make no mistake about it, they are original human antibodies when they start out.
Okay, that's good to know, because that was anytime.
Yeah, you really. I'll tell you what. If I wanted to, if somebody offered me an antibody transfusion, I would do that, but I would not do the vaccine. But I would do a human antibody transfusion, a Regeneron label is what it's called.
Yeah.
I would absolutely do that. I have no problem doing that whatsoever.
Yeah, my thoughts were I didn't like the word synthetic, and so I would do the transfusion of. Well,
they have to use the word synthetic, because this was not produced by the original immune system, the ones that you're taking. But they're synthetic. They're genetically engineered. That's the synthetic process. Everybody hates the word genetically engineered, so that just kind of got phased out, like a lot of the other corrective words that a lot of people don't like. But in all of that crap conversation to limit the offensiveness, I guess, of the truth and the facts, a lot of information gets misconstrued and lost. This is nothing more than a genetic engineering process from a human antibody. It's the same protein by the time it gets done as if your immune system had produced it. But they have to use the word synthetic because it was produced by a process not other than the immune system.
Okay, thank you, because that really cleared it up.
Yeah.
I was afraid of the word synthetic. However, the antibodies I was not afraid of. So, and
No,
I'm with you.
no.
They couldn't.
Yeah, synthetically produced, they're still the same protein. They're still the same antibodies what your body produced. Otherwise, if they weren't, they wouldn't act the same way, and they wouldn't react the same way, and you would not get the same result.
Okay.
But all it is, it's an engineering and cloning process, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't be afraid of it. That is one thing. Yeah, that's one thing. Don't be afraid of it. I can tell you that is something that I would even do myself if I had the opportunity.
Okay.
Or if I needed to, put it that way. But I'm just fine. And like I said, I travel around here and go into stores that require masks, the post office and everywhere else. And, you know, you got to play their game. But if it was up to me, you'll never see me with a mask on around the house, around my friends, out in the front yard, out and about with people and stuff. I mean, I'm not afraid of that at all. I've got a bulletproof immune system. Last thing I'm going to die from is some illness or virus. Like I said, I'll probably die in a car wreck or a plane crash because I travel so much. That's the only two things I can see ending my life. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else have any questions, comments, anybody?
Yeah, we got a question in the chat, Ron. We got a question from James, someone that's going to have surgery. The question is, should you stop taking enzymes, a week before, or how long before, if at all?
I thought, about a week before, and I just had this conversation with Ricky Ruiz out of Nevada, and he went in for a surgical procedure, and I told him, I said, you always want to stop taking enzymes at least 7 to 10 days before any kind of a surgery. The reason is because these are natural blood thinners. They're going to thin your blood. And having too thin a blood for a surgical procedures can create complications. So get off all of your multivitamin, completely stop taking your multivitamin and these plant enzymes about 7 to 10 days before any kind of a surgical procedure, especially if you're having an open heart surgery and a pacemaker replacement or something like that, where it's actually invasive cutting. I would stop about 10 days prior to that. And that way, when you go in for your pre-op, they get your blood, they get your viscosity, they got everything they need, and you don't have any influences that are going to be there because you just stop taking them 2-3 days prior to that. Always stop at least a week to 10 days before your surgical procedure. And the only things that I could tell you is vitamin E or a multivitamin and the plant enzymes. I wouldn't stop taking aloe. I wouldn't stop taking the Metabolic Complete. I wouldn't stop taking the Sterile Max. None of that is going to affect viscosity of the blood. None of it. And that's the risk you run whenever you're doing a surgical procedure is the viscosity, the thickness, thinness, because they have to put coagulants in there to regulate all of that stuff so you don't bleed out on the table. And then so your body can actually heal as well once the procedure is done. So hopefully that answered James's question. But yeah, I would stop about 7 days minimum. Definitely no more than 10 days. You'll be fine.
I have, this is Shelley again. I have one other question about the
Sure.
and I know you have to take it an hour before you eat anything or have any nutrition of any kind. Is it okay to take it and have black coffee within that hour?
Coffee is not going to inhibit the absorption of plant sterols. It's not. So go ahead and drink all the coffee you want. Drink all the water you want. You just don't want to have a bunch of sugar like orange juice, grape juice, stuff like that. When you start getting nutrition and other components into something, that's what you don't want to have. Basically, got water and caffeine in coffee. There's no real nutritional absorption there that you're competing with. So that's fine. Good question, though. I'll bet there's a lot of coffee drinkers. I just made them happy. Anybody else have any last minute questions? Anybody? Dover, do you have any last, anything you want to contribute tonight?
No, it's a great call as always. I learned so much each and every call, and I'm so happy that Ricardo was here to get the information. And you've gone over this stuff, but just to hear it every week and week in and week out, it just repetition deepens the impression. So thank you. It was fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, I wish I would have thought of something a little bit more today, but I literally just had to stop putting the OSB board up in my attic trusses over my garage. I was on the phone with Roderick for about a half hour before that, and so we're really under the gun to get that all closed up before all this winter weather really sets in. And we got a good start on it. We should be able to finish it up tomorrow. So I apologize for not having a little bit better organized topic for tonight, but we'll get into it next week again. We'll have some kind of a topic.
Hey, Ron, speaking of that, someone asked, is there any product updates?
Yeah, our vitamin got pushed back until, what was it, November? It was supposed to be October 3rd. Now I believe it's November the 12th was the last shipping update I got on the multivitamin. And all I can tell people is, if you guys want to make sure that you have product on hand for the next 6 months, better order in 6 months supplies. I can't stress that enough, because this stuff is not coming in nearly as fast as so we've been out of vitamins since I think April or May. We've been completely out of multivitamins since May, and that was supposed to be in on March the 7th of this year, because that was ordered back in November. So this whole COVID-19 thing, and different countries are locking down, opening up, half opening up. I mean, it's just really raising havoc. So I would really encourage everybody, especially through the holidays and through next year, because it sounds like this is going to get a lot worse and go back to with the cold and flu season now starting to kick in, and that's going to compromise everybody and even make everybody more susceptible, because your immune system's already being taxed if you got a cold or a flu. And now they're already, I can hear rumblings in the political world of shutting down again. And if Joe Biden gets in there, he's already said as much as he's going to listen to the professionals and shut everything down. So here we go all over again for God knows how long. So updates, I'm completely out of heart algae. I am completely out of complete vitamin plus. Now that's at the wholesale end. I think we still have some on the internet, but it's very limited supply. Probiotics, we just ran out of that today. I have no probiotics on the supply side end. So what we have on the internet is what we have on the internet. We're really good inventory on the 270 enzymes. We have a real limited supply, less than 2 masters of the starter enzymes. They're going to be the next ones to go out. And we definitely won't even be able to get those in until at least March of next year once those go out. So if anybody's been using or wants to get involved with the starter enzymes, now would be a good time, because like I said, that's at least a 6-month outage once those get out. Steromax, we just got those back in stock. We've got literally thousands of bottles of those. I doubled the inventory order the last time I ordered those. So we have over 7,500 bottles of that in stock to carry us through the cold and flu season. So that's really helpful. That's a good deal. The Metabolic Complete, we've got some. We've got a decent supply of those. Heart algae we're out of. Aloe Max, we've got a decent supply of those. Daily Detox, we've got, I won't say decent. We're starting to get a little bit low on those, but I'm sure we still have around 1,100 bottles of those. Let's see, the probiotics, like I said, we just went out of those today. So those are completely out. So whatever, look on.
What about the Coral Light?
Coral
yeah, what about Coral Light?
But we have less than 2 masters of that. So we've got about 270, 280 bottles of that. So we've got a somewhat limited supply, but that's not nowhere near out. That's not that yet. So we've got some of that stuff still in stock. And the amino acids, those are running low. Those will be out of here in the next, probably I'd say next 30 days.
Yeah, and I just want to add, Ron, on the website we have 58 bottles in stock of the complete vitamins. There is a question and on heart algae and when we'll get that back. And there is heart algae on the website as well. So just so everyone knows, when Ron is talking about the inventory here, he's talking about wholesale, meaning Ron does supply various individuals and companies to supply his product. That's one side of it. The other side is on the enriching.com website. Is a separate inventory for the web distribution. So there is product there. At the end of the day, get stocked up like Ron said. It's not that he's poor at ordering or that it's just where we're at with COVID, where we're at with distribution around the world and ports of entry, et cetera. So just know that.
Yep. And like I said, money isn't the issue. I doubled my inventory. I got more money in the bank than I know what to do with, and I only wish I could use it to influence a faster turnaround time, but I can't. If I could, I would, but I can't. Because a lot of the supplies that we use come from Finland, they come from Japan, they come from outside the United States. And with the lockdowns and the different transports and things that are going on in these countries outside the U.S. on the global market, it's almost impossible. And that's why everybody's having Black Friday sales now rather than waiting until Thanksgiving, because nothing is guaranteed by Christmas. If you've been watching any of the home shopping channels or any of the news programs or anything, they'll say get your shopping done 30 days in advance because it's probably not even going to be around by the time normal Black Friday comes and shipping and all that, and Christmas and all that stuff. So it's just a very funny, weird time in every one of our lives, and it's so frustrating to me as a business. No matter how hard I try and how much money I try to throw at it and stuff, it just doesn't work. It's not going to speed anything up or make anything happen any faster. And right now, I mean, our average turnaround times are minimum of 4 months. Normally, it's 2.5 to 3 months. And now minimum it's 4, and there's some of them that are 6 and 8 months out on different items that I have to order before the raw materials and everything can get in. And I mean, it's just crazy. How do you function 8 months out from something? I've never heard of such a thing, or even 4 months for that matter. But that's the reality of what we're living in now. So like I said, the enriching.com website does have inventory, whatever you can find there. Try to stock up on it from there as best you can. And I know we're coming into the holiday season, which is a great sales. October, November, December, that's one of our best, if not the best quarter of our entire year for the Enriching Gifts business, wholesale and website. So we're coming up already on our busiest time of the year with very limited supplies on a lot of stuff. So I do apologize, but like I said, if I could throw money at it, I'd have a lot of money and I could do a lot of things. But unfortunately, no matter how much money you want to throw at it, it's not going to change anything. It is what it is, and it's just a real difficult time for everybody. So I would ask for your patience, regardless what shows up. And me, I prided myself for my whole company for the 30 years I've been in business. You can ask anybody that's been with me for years and years and decades. One of the things that you can always say about Enriching Gifts, that guy has the best customer service you'll ever find. You place an order, you usually have it on your doorstep in 2 to 3 days. And that's the reputation I've had for extraordinary customer service for the whole 30 plus years that I've been in business. And this COVID thing has just really screwed everything up. I'm still probably one of the better turnaround time companies out there and stuff. And customer service is always our top priority here at Enriching Gifts. I don't care who it is, Dover, my daughter, the internet, my wholesale, my wife. Order comes in, it goes out the exact same day, no questions asked. And back orders, if something goes on a back order, the day that order comes into the warehouse, all back orders are fulfilled the same day product arrival comes in. No questions asked. That's just the rules. That's the way it is. And anybody that doesn't play by those rules usually doesn't have a distributorship very long. Nothing means more to me than people. That is my business, you. And without all of you, we don't have a business. So I appreciate it, and I'm going to take care of you the absolute best that I can. And that starts with customer service always. So that's the best update, I guess, that I got for products and where we're at today in inventory, I would just say check the enrichinggifts.com website for inventory. Because they have plenty there, and what they do have in good supply and stock, like the 270 enzymes, the 180 count enzymes, the Steromax, the Metabolic Complete, the Daily Detox. I've got a pretty decent supply of all of those. Then you get into the heart algae, that's gone, probiotics are gone, vitamins are gone. You're going to have to get all of that from the enrichinggifts.com website. Because at the wholesale and the big inventory end, I have none. And it doesn't look like most of that stuff's going to be in until November and December right now. Okay, so that's the best update I got for you.
All right, fantastic. And James says Talia and team has done a fantastic job and great customer service. So echo that.
I heard nothing but praise for them guys all the time. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate their efforts as well. So absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ron, we appreciate your time. We'll let you go. I know you have a lot going on there, and we are gracious for your time. And so we'll be back next week, everybody. Join us, bring guests, and this really what this is about. Ron, I just don't want to utilize his time. I want us to all be mindful of his time. He's going to do it regardless. This is just me speaking. There's someone that could benefit from this information that we all know. And let's make a conscious effort to reach out to them and invite them to next week's call, because you never know what it could do to change their lives. And we've heard time and time again, story after story, the benefits and the results, because it's all about results with this product line. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Ron, go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll make it a night.
All right. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Will do. Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye. Yep.